Understand VR system requirements. Before building your PC, check the minimum and recommended specs for VR headsets like the Meta Quest, HTC Vive, or Valve Index. Most require at least a GTX 1660 or RTX 3060, 16GB RAM, and a high refresh rate CPU. Higher-end headsets need RTX 3070 or better for smooth performance. Choose a VR-ready graphics card. The GPU, graphics card, is the most critical component for VR. Cards like the RTX 3080, RTX 4070, or AMD RX 6800 XT deliver smooth 90+ FPS gameplay in VR. Avoid older or low-end GPUs, as VR requires high frame rates to prevent motion sickness. Select a fast and powerful CPU. A multi-core, high-speed processor ensures smooth gameplay. Opt for a Ryzen 7 5800X, Ryzen 9 7900X, or Intel i7-12700K. VR games depend on both CPU and GPU performance, so balance your budget to get a powerful combination. Get at least 16 GB of RAM. For VR gaming, 16 GB of RAM is the minimum, but 32 GB is ideal for future-proofing. Faster RAM, like DDR5 6000 MHz or DDR4 3600 MHz, improves performance, especially in open-world VR games. Pick a high-speed storage solution. VR games load large textures and environments, so a fast NVMe SSD is recommended. Choose at least 1 TB of storage to accommodate VR titles, as some games exceed 50 GB to 100 GB in size. Avoid HDDs, as they slow down loading times. Ensure a reliable power supply. VR PCs demand high power output, so a 750W850W PSU with 80+ gold certification is ideal. If you're using an RTX 4080 or RX 7900 XT, go for 850W+ to handle peak power usage. Choose a VR-optimized motherboard. A good motherboard should support USB 3.0, PCIe 4.0, and Wi-Fi 6 for wireless VR. Ensure it has multiple USB ports for VR headset connections. Brands like Asus, MSI, and Gigabyte offer VR-friendly features in mid-range and high-end boards. Focus on cooling and airflow. VR gaming generates heat, so proper cooling is essential. Use a high airflow case with multiple fans or an AIO liquid cooler for your CPU. A well-cooled system prevents thermal throttling, ensuring smooth VR performance. Check VR headset compatibility. Some headsets require DisplayPort, while others use USB-C or HDMI. Ensure your GPU and motherboard have the correct ports. If using a wireless VR setup, ensure low-latency Wi-Fi and Bluetooth support. Optimize your PC for VR gaming. After building your PC, update your GPU drivers, enable VR-specific settings, and tweak your SteamVR or Oculus settings for optimal performance. Adjust refresh rates, supersampling, and motion smoothing to get the best VR experience.